Right. First up on the list, we're going to talk about what is AI. So AI itself is really kind of this whole big topic. It's an umbrella discipline that covers everything related to making machines smarter. And there's just a number of disciplines in this broader topic of AI. We're going to hit a number of them, all the way from kind of edge-based AI, all the way back to kind of deep learning and what it means to do that. So again, AI fundamentally make machines smarter, allow them to learn over time. Machine learning and deep, in reference to this term called deep learning, is really machine learning applied to large data sets. But again, we're going to talk a little bit about this notion of edge and micro AIs, and how you kind of combine those things into one broader system. AI definitions. This is a bit of review for us. This was in the first kind of the history of data clouds. We're going to start off with artificial narrow intelligence, and this is what we experience the most today. If we're interacting with a chatbot, if we're interacting with Alexa or Google in terms of voice interaction, we're actually interacting with an AI that's been trained to deal with conversational language and parse that conversational language to go execute a specific task. I would even classify some of the self-driving machines in this notion of narrow intelligence, because they're designed for a specific purpose, and really drive deep in that purpose of knowledge and learning and understanding. Next up is collaborative intelligence, and this is one of my favorites. This is where I think, at least within healthcare, we're going to start seeing this really emerge and evolve at a pretty rapid pace. And what is collaborative intelligence? It's the combination of man-machine. So it's a person, a man or a woman. It's a person interacting with a narrow intelligence to perform a specific task. A good example within health is image analysis. For instance, radiology imaging, in terms of pointing out what may be issues within an image and letting the person interact and determine if that in fact is the case. Additionally, you're seeing a lot of these predictive networks emerge where it's a combination of a lot of people and a lot of machines focused on a very specific topic, and really running through some algorithms from a predictive perspective. So a lot of potential in the near term for collaborative intelligence. Next is artificial general intelligence. And what we're going to see here is that, this is what people talk about, the singularity, where machine intelligence really starts to equate to human intelligence, at least from a computational perspective. We still have this whole dimension of emotions and feelings and some of the abstraction that machines still have a very, very difficult time comprehending. But from the standpoint of processing and producing and really computing a large amounts of data for a more general basis, lots of movement here in the space, lots of research here in the space, lots of conversations here in the space. And I'm going to talk about swarm intelligence in just a minute. But what I think you're going to see kind of near term is the combination of multiple aspects of narrow intelligence, each focusing on a specific thing, working together, that's going to give us the illusion of an artificial general intelligence. And finally, we're talking about artificial superintelligence, where the machine side of life actually exceed our ability as humans, not only to process data, but in lots of aspects, and lots of ethical issues arise in these last two categories. We're going to talk about those as we get through the webinar. Swarm intelligence. I want to hit this because this is something, as I mentioned, in the future of data clouds, very close to my heart. It's been an area that I spent a lot of time in my career focused on. And the best analogy in terms of the basic definition of swarm intelligence is what you see in insect behavior, bees, ants, and even flocks of birds and schools of fish, in terms of they're relative. Each unit within the swarm has roughly the same amount of intelligence, but they have a way to work together that gives the illusion of a broader intelligence. And I think this concept of special purpose things, or individuals, be it thousands or millions working together, will give us not only the illusion, but the notion of real intelligence as they work together. And at the core, still requires something to orchestrate and coordinate between all these various participants within a swarm. So again, it's one of the things that are foundational for us at BurstIQ. You're going to see a lot more about this topic in terms of real life applications as we go throughout the year. Neural networks, again, big topics. Is one of these broader terms like artificial intelligence. Neural networks is really a technique in how you process and understand data in an attempt to do it the way we as humans do and the way our brain works in building these connections. There's been some inherent limitations to neural networking from the standpoint of what it takes to build them and the computational resources it takes to build them. But Moore's law is catching up, quantum computing starting to emerge. Will you see this aspect and this discipline really start to accelerate over the next few years?